that will reopen British markets for American companies. All that Britain demands in return is that we keep these two.
The 60 Minutes interview was a great chance to hear Harry and Meghan's story in case you missed their 2-hour sit-down with Oprah or their 6-part Netflix documentary.
Like, my life was so hard. Everybody's life is hard.
Yeah,
you were the prince of a
That's true.
goddamn country who dressed up as a Nazi, and now you're trying to come back as the Pope? Suck it.
Harry and Meghan say they'd now like to split their time between spending your money in the UK and spending your money in Canada.
Meghan Markle just picked up a title she probably never expected to hear connected to her name in 2025. One of the most criticised public figures online and across entertainment media. The former actress, who went from Hollywood side roles to becoming part of the royal family, somehow ended up upsetting critics, comedians, celebrity commentators, and even longtime media supporters at lightning speed. What started as public curiosity slowly turned into non-stop backlash, with people questioning everything from interviews to public appearances and major business deals.
It's like marrying into the Budweiser family and going, they drink a lot. This motherfucker's invested in slavery like it was Shark Tank.
Late-night hosts, stand-up comics, podcast personalities, and social media creators all started using Meghan as material for jokes and sharp commentary. Every week, it felt like somebody new had something to say about the latest controversy surrounding her name. And the wild part is that the criticism wasn't only coming from royal watchers anymore, it spread across the entire entertainment world fast. So now we're breaking down the celebrities and comedians who helped push this massive wave of backlash into overdrive.
Elon built electric cars, he's going to Mars. Why is he even involving himself with Twitter? It would be like if the Prince of England gave it all up just to marry an actor from Suits.
Starting with the comic who said what many people online had already been thinking, but were too nervous to say out loud. Chris Rock didn't just joke about Meghan during his set. He completely challenged the public narrative surrounding her complaints and media image in front of millions of viewers, and the reaction exploded instantly. Chris Rock looked at the whole situation and basically said what a lot of people were already whispering online.
ABC has announced plans for a spin-off to the hit series Suits. It will focus on Meghan Markle's character's struggle to balance her legal career while also caring for an unemployed immigrant.
His point was simple. Meghan married into one of the oldest and most talked about royal institutions in the world, a family that has been surrounded by controversy, tradition, scandals, and public scrutiny for generations. So when problems started happening behind palace doors, Chris clearly wasn't convinced by the shocked reactions being presented in interviews and documentaries.
It's a great series about a rich, white, dysfunctional family, all scheming. Oh no, that's The Crown. That's The Crown. I'm sorry.
He joked that acting stunned by royal family drama was like joining a criminal organization and suddenly being surprised bad things happened there. The crowd instantly caught the point he was making, and clips from the special spread everywhere online because people couldn't stop debating it. But the moment that really exploded was when Chris addressed the huge controversy surrounding conversations about what the royal baby might look like. For years, that story had been treated as one of the biggest examples of alleged mistreatment inside the monarchy.
Turns out Prince Harry and Meghan Markle will still get paid millions of dollars for doing absolutely nothing. And that's just by Netflix.
Chris Rock took a completely different angle and argued that a lot of families casually speculate about future babies and appearance traits, especially in famous families constantly under media attention. He basically claimed the situation got turned into something far bigger and more dramatic than it originally sounded.
Harry said racism was a big part of their decision to leave, which you know things are bad at Buckingham Palace if they came to America to get away from racism.
That's when things shifted hard online. Once Chris openly challenged the narrative in front of millions of viewers, other comedians and TV personalities suddenly felt more comfortable making jokes and criticisms too. And one of the earliest people to take shots before it became mainstream was Colin Jost, who wasted no time throwing Meghan into the middle of his sharp comedy bits.
Harry, whose memoir just broke the Guinness record for fastest-selling non-fiction book of all time, the story of Prince Harold and his frozen yogurt slinger, is so popular, they're now releasing a version for kids. I don't know if you know about this. It's a twist on The Princess and the Pea. It's called The Prince and the Penis, and it's,
At this point, critics online were starting to say the couple looked completely stuck between two worlds. In America, A lot of viewers seemed tired of the non-stop interviews, documentaries, and public complaints, while in Britain, royal supporters were still furious over everything connected to the family fallout. The conversation online turned into people asking the same question over and over: where exactly do Harry and Meghan fit anymore?
Why does Meghan Markle make her own pretzel bags? They don't know why.
That's interesting. She takes it from one bag and puts it in another bag.
There's another bag.
And that confuses people.
This, we're just gonna put into a different bag.
A lot of commentators argued that Prince Harry walked away from royal duties, long-time friendships, military connections, and public respect for a relationship that completely changed his image. Before meeting Harry, Meghan was mostly known for television work and celebrity circles, but critics claimed the relationship didn't strengthen Harry's reputation at all.
Meghan Markle has finally revealed why she and Prince Harry call each other M and H.
And he'll say M and you'll say H and your friends say M and it just is a thing.
It's a thing.
And do you both love it?
Yes, and I like nicknames a lot.
What could it be? A mystery for the ages.
Instead, they argued it dragged him into endless controversy, public mockery, and constant media drama that never seemed to slow down. Then things got even rougher when Saturday Night Live and other comedy shows started treating their lives like material for sitcom sketches instead of serious royal headlines. Once that happens, the internet usually smells blood fast. Becoming recurring punchlines on major comedy platforms made the backlash feel way more mainstream and impossible to escape. And then came Joe Coy at the Golden Globes.
Queen summoned everyone to a private meeting. Everyone attended except Meghan Markle. And I'll be honest, I don't blame Meghan for not going, because nothing good happens when white people invite you to the countryside. We've all seen Get Out. We know how this shit ends.
While most award show hosts carefully avoid certain celebrities to stay out of trouble, Joe Coy jumped right in without hesitation. He compared the royal drama to a wealthy, dysfunctional family storyline, joking that the situation had all the chaos but none of the entertaining parts people actually enjoy watching. The audience reaction was mixed, but online clips exploded immediately because people couldn't believe he went there so directly. The massive Netflix deal quickly turned into one of the biggest jokes surrounding Meghan and Harry online. People kept asking the same thing over and over: what exactly were they even producing?
Watch the Harry and Meghan Netflix documentary. Now, I'll be honest with you, before I watched it, I was not a fan of theirs. But now I've actually heard their side of the story, I hate them.
Huge headlines announced multi-million-dollar contracts, major streaming partnerships, documentaries, podcasts, and inspirational projects. But critics argued that most viewers still couldn't clearly explain what the couple's actual brand or message even was anymore. The situation became comedy material almost instantly because every new announcement seemed bigger than the actual content being released. Then late-night television really started piling on.
Harry starts describing this one date with Meghan as the night, let me quote you here, "Me and M pulled the pin on a fun grenade. I actually started rooting for Prince Andrew."
Jimmy Kimmel stepped into the conversation and immediately targeted one of the couple's most controversial claims: their decision to leave royal life and move to America. Kimmel joked about how the explanations kept changing depending on the interview, the documentary, or the media appearance being promoted at the time. Online audiences exploded with reactions because the joke touched on a debate people had already been arguing about for years. But Kimmel didn't stop there. He also mocked Prince Harry's memoir after it became one of the most talked about celebrity books in the world. Critics online accused the book of sounding like hundreds of pages filled with grievances, personal family stories, and complaints about royal life.
Want it both ways. You know, you can't be, these people were so mean to us and poor us, and we don't want all this attention, and then let me write a book about how much we don't want attention.
Despite Harry still benefiting from the global attention connected to his title, Kimmel turned several moments from the memoir into punchlines during his monologue. And clips from the segment spread fast across social media because viewers couldn't stop laughing at how dramatic some stories sounded when read out loud on television. Then Jimmy Fallon entered the chaos and aimed directly at Meghan's lifestyle image and luxury content online. One moment in particular, involving packaged snacks and carefully staged presentation clips, became internet meme material almost overnight.
Yes.
And he's like, no, I'm really am a middleman for jars of jam.
He works for Meghan Markle.
Yes.
Really
My dad,
tiny jams, harvestable jams.
Yes, exactly.
Made from the oils of Montecito.
Critics called it the perfect example of wealthy celebrity branding, completely missing the reality of how regular people actually live. The reaction was brutal, and social media roasted the entire vibe non-stop for days. At a certain point, people online started asking why Meghan and Harry kept doing so many interviews if they supposedly wanted privacy in the first place. First came the Oprah interview that dominated headlines around the world. Then came the Netflix documentary series packed with emotional stories, dramatic footage, and more claims about royal life behind closed doors. But even after all that attention, the media appearances just kept coming. Soon they were sitting down for major television specials again.
Babe, time to do our daily $250,000 sponsored Instagram post for Del Taco.
I shouldn't have left the made-up nonsense.
Including another high-profile interview that had critics saying the couple looked more focused on controlling public perception than actually stepping away from the spotlight. The non-stop media tour quickly became comedy gold for late-night hosts. Stephen Colbert joined the conversation and poked fun at the way Meghan and Harry referred to each other as H and M during interviews and public conversations. Colbert joked that it sounded less like a normal married couple and more like a carefully built celebrity brand trying way too hard to appear casual and relatable. Online viewers immediately clipped the segment because people had already been mocking the nicknames for months across social media. But Trevor Noah initially came at the situation from a completely different angle. Instead of targeting Meghan right away, he spent more time joking about the royal family itself and highlighting the monarchy's long history of controversies and public image problems. At first, Trevor seemed willing to give Meghan the benefit of the doubt, and many viewers noticed that his jokes leaned more toward criticizing the institution around her rather than attacking her personally. Then things started changing fast. Once public appearances showed Harry networking heavily at Hollywood events and speaking with major entertainment executives about projects involving Meghan, Trevor's tone shifted completely. Critics began arguing that the couple looked less like people escaping fame and more like celebrities aggressively building a media empire in California. That's when even some former defenders started sounding way more skeptical. For centuries, royal marriages were connected to major political moves, international alliances, wealth, land, and power shifts between entire nations. That was traditionally the whole point of monarchy relationships, strategy, influence, and strengthening dynasties across generations. But critics joked that modern royal drama somehow ended up turning into Hollywood networking events and entertainment deals instead.
The best thing is, no more following Granny's rules. Don't wear your pants on your head, Harry. Don't bath on the butler, Harry. If I want to play polo in my living room, who's gonna stop me?
Stop that.
Right away, mate.
Online commentators couldn't stop laughing at how the conversation shifted from royal duties and palace traditions to stories about pitching voiceover projects and streaming content opportunities in California. Trevor Noah was one of the people whose perspective seemed to visibly change over time. At first, he appeared sympathetic toward Meghan and openly critical of the monarchy itself. But once the media tours, business ventures, celebrity partnerships, and Hollywood networking became non-stop headlines, Trevor's jokes started sounding way more skeptical. Critics argued that the image had shifted from escaping royal pressure to aggressively chasing entertainment industry relevance, and late-night hosts wasted no time pointing it out. Then the British comedians entered the conversation, and the tone became even sharper. Jimmy Carr immediately targeted what many critics viewed as a huge contradiction surrounding Meghan's public image. He joked about how Meghan had spent years presenting herself as an independent, modern, feminist voice, only to later step directly into one of the oldest royal systems in the world, the moment romance with a prince entered the picture. The contrast became one of the internet's favourite debate topics because people on both sides argued non-stop over whether the criticism was fair or completely exaggerated. At the same time, old controversies connected to Prince Harry kept resurfacing online as critics revisited uncomfortable moments from his younger years. British tabloids and comedians repeatedly brought up past scandals, insisting that public image rebrands couldn't completely erase old headlines no matter how much time passed. Meanwhile, anger among British taxpayers also kept growing because many people believed Meghan and Harry benefited from royal funding, security, and public resources before stepping away and criticizing the institution publicly afterward. Comedian Simon Brodkin even joked about sitting through their entire Netflix documentary series, turning the viewing experience itself into part of the punchline as frustration around the couple continued building online. When Meghan and Harry's documentary first dropped, a lot of viewers were actually curious and even somewhat supportive going into it. Some people expected thoughtful insight into royal life, media pressure, and the struggles of living under non-stop public attention. Early reactions even showed sympathy from viewers who felt the couple had legitimate complaints worth hearing out. But according to critics online, the series slowly started losing people as the episodes became more dramatic, overly polished, and filled with moments many viewers described as forced or performative. Commentators argued that instead of helping rebuild their image, the documentary ended up creating even more backlash. Social media exploded with clips, memes, and reactions mocking certain emotional scenes, dramatic narration, and highly staged moments. Critics especially focused on Prince Harry's storytelling style, with some saying his descriptions of royal conflict sounded so exaggerated that they accidentally made other members of the royal family appear calmer and more reasonable by comparison. Online jokes about the dramatic tone spread everywhere fast. Then came another wave of criticism, centered around royal etiquette and preparation before joining such a famous institution. Some comedians joked that marrying into the royal family should probably involve learning basic traditions and expectations beforehand, instead of acting blindsided afterward. Those punchlines became especially popular in Britain, where audiences are already deeply familiar with royal customs and public protocol. The backlash only kept growing when celebrities and television personalities joined the conversation too. Kelly Osbourne openly criticised what she viewed as non-stop public complaining from people living extremely privileged lifestyles. Her comments spread online quickly because they echoed what many frustrated viewers had already been saying, that emotional struggles become harder for audiences to relate to when they're delivered from luxury mansions, exclusive interviews, and multi-million-dollar media deals. At the same time, older controversies connected to both Meghan and Harry kept resurfacing online, despite public relations efforts to move past them. Critics argued that the internet rarely forgets past headlines, embarrassing moments, or questionable decisions. And British comedians especially seemed determined to keep bringing those stories back into the spotlight again and again. The backlash in Britain reached another level entirely, because many critics felt Meghan and Harry wanted the benefits of royal status without accepting the responsibilities and pressure that came with it. To angry royal supporters, the situation looked contradictory, publicly criticising the monarchy while still keeping royal titles and global connections linked to the institution they claimed caused them so much pain. That frustration became non-stop material for comedians, commentators, and television hosts who kept hammering the same question over and over. If royal life was truly unbearable,
Oliver, you have generously offered to keep the wax figures of Harry and Meghan safe.
Yeah, that's correct. And if I may, I would just like to say that I'm definitely not using the wax figures for sex stuff.
why stay connected to the brand at all? Then Bill Maher stepped into the conversation and focused heavily on what he saw as the biggest contradiction surrounding the couple's public image. He mocked the idea of constantly asking for privacy, while simultaneously releasing documentaries, interviews, podcasts, memoirs, and global media projects explaining personal grievances in extreme detail. Maher joked that promoting a book about wanting less public attention by going on a massive international press tour made absolutely no sense to ordinary people watching from the outside. Maher also compared their public approach to Queen Elizabeth's long-standing reputation for restraint and silence during controversy. His argument was that the monarchy survived for decades, partly because the older generation understood how to stay quiet under pressure, instead of responding publicly to every criticism, rumour, or disagreement. Online audiences debated the comparison non-stop because some agreed completely, while others thought it ignored modern media realities. Critics also kept returning to the issue of wealth and privilege. Complaints about stress, pressure, and unfair treatment sounded very different to viewers when delivered from luxury estates, celebrity interviews, and multi-million-dollar business deals in Montecito. That disconnect became one of the most repeated criticisms surrounding the couple online, especially among people who felt the messaging came across as disconnected from regular life struggles. Then Nikki Glaser entered the discussion with a much more blunt comedic angle. She joked that Meghan's biggest career breakthrough wasn't acting, entertainment, or Hollywood networking, it was marrying into the royal family itself. The punchline instantly spread online because critics had already spent years arguing that Meghan's global fame skyrocketed primarily because of her relationship with Harry rather than her previous entertainment career alone. Even Conan O'Brien jumped into the chaos eventually, turning Meghan and Harry's public image into recurring comedy material by joking about their wax figures and celebrity status. By that point, the couple had become one of the most common celebrity targets across both American and British comedy shows, and the jokes just kept multiplying everywhere. Conan O'Brien found one of the funniest ways to joke about Meghan and Harry without even needing them physically present on screen. Instead of direct interviews or harsh monologues, he leaned into absurd comedy setups involving their wax figures and exaggerated celebrity image, and somehow that made the jokes hit even harder. The humor worked because it felt ridiculous enough to make audiences laugh instantly, but still close enough to the real public perception surrounding the couple that viewers immediately understood the reference. At that point, critics online were already saying Meghan and Harry's public image had become almost impossible to separate from internet memes and celebrity parody culture. Every new business project, interview clip, or public appearance seemed to create another viral reaction online. Then Meghan's luxury lifestyle products became the next target, especially after critics mocked the launch of high-end food and home-style branding projects that many viewers felt looked overly curated and disconnected from regular people's lives. The reactions became brutal fast. Online commentators joked that the branding tried way too hard to present an image of effortless relatability while still feeling extremely expensive, celebrity-focused, and out of touch at the same time. Critics argued that it perfectly represented the biggest complaint people had about Meghan's image for years, trying to appear grounded while operating inside elite celebrity culture the entire time. Then even John Oliver weighed in, which surprised a lot of viewers because he usually approaches public figures with a much more analytical and balanced tone, instead of pure celebrity mockery. That's why his criticism hit harder for some audiences. When someone known for carefully breaking down complicated topics starts sounding skeptical about repeated behavior patterns and public contradictions, people online tend to notice immediately. And once the internet fully locked onto the situation, the meme culture exploded completely. Social media edits, reaction videos, parody clips, and jokes flooded every platform non-stop. Then South Park entered the chaos and pushed everything into another level entirely by creating an entire parody episode centered around celebrity hypocrisy, public attention, and non-stop demands for privacy while staying permanently in the spotlight. The episode instantly became one of the biggest viral moments connected to Meghan and Harry because audiences immediately understood exactly who the satire was aimed at. Prince Harry's memoir quickly became one of the biggest comedy targets on television and online because comedians kept focusing on the same issue, the non-stop tension between wanting privacy while staying constantly in the private spotlight. South Park especially took that contradiction and turned it into comedy gold. The animated parody transformed Harry's public complaints into exaggerated storytelling that looked almost like a dramatic children's tale about endless frustration, media tours, and attention-seeking behavior. The setup worked so well because audiences instantly recognized the real-world references without the show even needing to spell everything out directly. The episode exploded online because it mocked one of the biggest criticisms people already had about Meghan and Harry for years. Critics kept pointing out how the couple publicly talked about wanting peace, privacy, and a quieter life, while simultaneously appearing in documentaries, interviews, magazine covers, podcasts, streaming specials, and global television events. South Park exaggerated that contradiction to the extreme, joking about worldwide privacy tours and endless public appearances meant to explain why they supposedly wanted less attention in the first place. One of the funniest parts for viewers was the way the show portrayed the search for normal life as another public performance itself. Critics online joked that even attempts to escape fame somehow kept becoming new media projects, complete with cameras, press coverage, and branding opportunities. The internet absolutely exploded with memes after the episode aired because so many people felt the satire perfectly captured the public frustrations surrounding the couple's image. And once South Park opened the floodgates, other animated shows followed fast. Family Guy also joined the pylon, adding Meghan and Harry to the growing list of celebrity parody targets. By that point, jokes about streaming deals, podcasts, media partnerships, and celebrity branding were everywhere. Critics especially focused on the massive Netflix contract, arguing that despite the huge headlines and enormous money involved, many viewers still struggled to clearly explain what the couple's long-term entertainment vision actually was. Online commentary became even harsher when discussions turned toward influencer-style branding and sponsored partnerships. Some critics claimed the transition from royal responsibilities to celebrity content deals and luxury promotions looked strange compared to the serious image Harry once carried as a working royal and military veteran. The contrast became another recurring punchline across television, podcasts, and social media. Then things took an even darker turn when the satirical puppet show Spitting Image released some of the harshest Meghan and Harry parodies viewers had ever seen. The sketches sparked intense reactions online, and when certain clips later became harder to find, internet speculation exploded even further, adding another layer of controversy to the non-stop media storm surrounding the couple. Rumors started spreading online that certain parody clips and satirical sketches connected to Meghan and Harry became harder to find after alleged legal complaints and pressure behind the scenes. Whether true or exaggerated, the speculation only made people even more curious. The internet immediately reacted with the classic, "What are they trying to hide?" response, which ended up drawing even more attention to the content people were suddenly searching for everywhere online. One of the most talked about examples came from Spitting Image, the long-running satirical puppet show famous for brutally mocking celebrities, politicians, and public figures. Their version of Meghan leaned heavily into the public perception critics already had, presenting her as someone constantly trying to appear humble, compassionate, and relatable while simultaneously sounding overly polished and performative. The comedy focused less on direct insults and more on exaggerated self-importance, with the puppet character delivering dramatic speeches about kindness and authenticity while subtly talking down to everyone around her at the same time. The sketches also mocked Meghan's lifestyle branding and Netflix-style presentation aesthetics. Everyday activities and simple household moments were exaggerated into luxury wellness experiences, with ordinary snacks, decorations, flowers, and casual routines presented as if they were groundbreaking lifestyle discoveries. Critics online instantly connected with the parody because many people already felt the couple's content often tried turning basic experiences into highly curated, inspirational moments designed for wealthy celebrity audiences rather than average viewers. One recurring joke involved the idea of packaging normal behavior, breathing exercises, home decorating, snack preparation, mindfulness routines as deep life wisdom or premium wellness content. The humor came from how exaggeratedly serious the puppet versions treated completely ordinary things, turning tiny moments into dramatic lessons about healing, authenticity, and self-discovery. Online audiences thought the satire perfectly captured the criticism surrounding celebrity lifestyle branding in general. Then came the sketches portraying Meghan and Harry's relationship dynamic, which some viewers interpreted as showing Harry looking passive or controlled, while Meghan directed every situation around him. Those scenes sparked huge reactions online because critics claimed the satire reflected suspicions they already had about the balance of power inside the relationship. Whether fair or exaggerated, the controversy only made the clips spread even faster across social media and discussion forums everywhere. Living right near Oprah, surrounded by celebrity neighborhoods, luxury mansions, and non-stop Hollywood connections while still publicly talking about wanting total privacy, that contradiction became impossible for critics to ignore. People online kept pointing out how Meghan and Harry seemed to want distance from media attention only when coverage turned negative. But whenever a new project, interview, documentary, or business launch needed promotion, cameras suddenly weren't a problem anymore. That disconnect became one of the biggest running jokes across television, podcasts, and social media because audiences felt the messaging never fully matched the lifestyle being presented. The spitting image sketches especially hit hard because they exaggerated the relationship dynamic in a way that instantly sparked debate online. The puppet version of Harry often looked passive, confused, or completely overwhelmed, while Meghan's character was portrayed as carefully managing every move, every conversation, and every public moment around them. Critics claim the satire worked so well because it reflected suspicions and conversations people were already having online for years. The comedy didn't even need to say much directly. The exaggerated body language and interactions alone told the entire story. A lot of viewers still consider Spitting Image some of the sharpest celebrity satire ever made, because the show has always specialized in exposing public contradictions through humor instead of direct attacks. That's why the rumors surrounding missing clips and alleged pressure only made the controversy grow bigger. Nothing has ever been officially confirmed, but internet speculation exploded, with people claiming attempts were made to limit certain sketches from spreading too widely online. Whether true or not, the reaction backfired completely, because once people think content is being hidden, they become even more obsessed with finding it. The same thing happened after South Park's parody episode exploded worldwide. Critics online argued that once major comedy shows started openly mocking the couple's contradictions, the public perception shifted permanently. At that point, Meghan and Harry stopped being viewed only as controversial royals and became full-blown celebrity satire material across every corner of entertainment media. So those were some of the wildest celebrity and comedy moments aimed at Meghan Markle and Prince Harry that completely took over the internet and live television. There are honestly way more clips out there that didn't even make this list because the backlash and parody culture around them became absolutely massive over the years. Now I want to hear from you. Which celebrity roast was the funniest, the harshest, or the most accurate in your opinion? And did some comedians cross the line, or was all the criticism completely deserved? Drop your thoughts down in the comments below. And don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more celebrity drama, viral controversies, and entertainment chaos coming next.